Shout out to all the diamonds, rubies, and pearls. And if you didn't know, my name is Jem. And before we reload Idubbbz content deputy on Ethan Klein, I'm reminded of the 90s movie called What About Bob? What About Bob is a 1991 American comedy where Bob, played by Bill Murray, is a mentally unstable patient who stalks his egotistical psychotherapist, Dr. Leo, played by Richard Dreyfuss, on vacation. When Bob befriends the members of Leo's family, his continued presence pushes the doctor over the edge. Be sure to stay tuned till the end.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Content Deputy. Now normally in a Content Deputy I would dance around in my cop outfit in the woods, but this video isn't going to have any of that fanfare. We're just going to get straight into it. I was hoping that if I made a video about Ethan, he would act like an adult.
And that was your first mistake.
And he would keep the attacks directed at me and Anissa.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't Anissa in the last video? She better be in this one.
Unfortunately, I was wrong in thinking that because Ethan, in a desperate attempt to attack and smear Anissa and I, he started attacking our charity event.
All the people who are fans of the fighters or fans of you, Idubbbz, there's nothing Ethan could say that would have stopped them from going to your event.
I don't know if you noticed, but last year they lost $250,000. To be charitable, you actually have to give money to charity, Hassan.
Where's the lie?
You have to give money to be charity. It's like a slush fund for them.
Ethan and Hila are well aware that we raised $1.3 million for charity the first year of Creator Clash.
I mean, like, he wasn't talking about the first year.
The second year we operated at a loss, and I take full responsibility for that.
Great. Then stop complaining when Ethan calls you out.
We did band together. The community and the fighters involved ended up raising $175,000 for charity.
How does that make sense? You went and raised money for the charity event that was supposed to have an event to raise money for charity. Massive failure.
It's been really disheartening to see how often Ethan will attack Creator Clash through us or attack us through Creator Clash.
Ian and Anissa, masters of putting on an event.
That sounds like praise to me. What's the problem?
He's reposting random troll accounts that are very easy to vet. If you click on this profile, it has a bunch of Sam Hyde adjacent posts, and it just hates Anissa and I. Come on, dude, you're one step away from calling me a cuck. Just take the plunge.
Guy, nobody cares about you and your wife's extracurricular activities.
He's highlighting this post that equates Creator Clash to a crypto rug pull. He's saying the event is going to be worse than TanaCon. Can't wait for them to blame us for their failed event. Don't worry, Hila. I'm not going to blame you guys for anything Creator Clash related. I know you're terrified of taking accountability for anything, so that will rest solely on my shoulders.
How do I say Idubbbz? Oh, yeah.
And that is a rich thing to say. But I can't speak for the internet. The internet might actually blame you guys for it.
Nope. I only heard about this clash through Ethan, and since Lena is out, why would any of Ethan's supporters care about it now?
Now, with this recent revelation that people are just going to use Creator Clash to attack Anissa and I have decided to step away from Creator Clash. We have relinquished control to our business partners who ran the previous two events.
Uh-oh. Were they involved in the one that lost $250,000? Or did they help with the charity for the charity event that raised $180,000? Which, come to think about it, would mean you're still in the hole.
They're very capable. They know exactly what they're doing. They run events on a regular basis. The event is still happening. Anissa and I just don't have any financial ties. We don't have any ownership. We are, I think just going to be known as the founders of the event.
To anyone else who was and is still interested in the Creator Clash, I recommend to still go and watch or stream your favorite fighters and Ian and Anissa. If you rock with them, this is a time to show your support because they're gonna really need it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had to come to this eventually. I can't keep my mouth shut. I can't, I can. I just didn't want to. I want to be frank. I want to be honest. I was very quiet during the second Creator Clash because I was afraid of how that would impact other people. This year I said I'm going to do something different. I'm going to fight back if someone's trying to attack me. So that's what I did.
Buddy, look at this thumbnail. What exactly are you doing to Ethan in this picture? Guy, if Ethan is the one you're picking to finally stand up to, you already lost. You lost when you needed Hassan as backup in your video. And then you wonder why Ethan said this about you.
Spineless. Spineless.
He saw it in you and had to tell you about yourself.
And now I've realized, like, I can't really have my cake and eat it too. It's either you're gonna talk shit like a foul beast on the internet, or you're gonna have a charity event. You know, it really can't be both. I'm very proud of the event that we made with Creator Clash. It's still happening, June 28th. I'm just not gonna be involved in it. Please, for the love of God, support this event. You know, I feel like in some ways I'm like cutting off an arm so that I could...
Hey, follower, Ethan already did that.
All right. Wow, wait, stop. Maybe we should...
escape the bear trap, and so I can fight. Well, that's a bad analogy. You guys get it. We've already told all the fighters, and it seems like most people understand that this is the best move. If the previous Content Cop was entertaining to you, or this video is entertaining, or you like the message, the best thing that you can do, for me, is to support Creator Clash.
This means I'm out. But you all, do you?
Buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view ticket, an in-person ticket, or donate to the fundraiser. I just want to see this event do well.
I mean, really? It doesn't matter if this charity loses another $250,000. I already learned from the Ace family debacle that people don't care if their favorite YouTubers waste their money. They don't care. Really, only the haters care.
You know, I didn't try this shit because I thought I was going to be a good boxer. I didn't think I would be an awesome event organizer. And, you know, now I'm finally back to where I started, which is making fucking Content Cop videos. I don't want to make this too ham-fisted, but I kind of do want to make it ham-fisted because I'm like, I spent my last fucking 4 years working on this stupid boxing shit. I mean, it was worth it, absolutely. But, like, it's crazy that I've just returned to Content Cop.
Oh, this guy really is bringing back Content Cop for the long haul?
Having said all that, Creator Clash ticket link down in the description. Go check it out, buy tickets, support the charity, support the fighters.
He can't even mention the names of the fighters in this video because he's not sure who's gonna pull out next.
And have a good-ass time. I mean, ultimately, I think it's a good thing because I think I am meant to roll around in shit. I think me and Ethan are both meant to be rolling around in pig shit all day long.
No, just you.
And other people are meant to do boxing or debating or whatever else. Ethan and me, pig shit rolling around type of fellas.
You underestimate my strength! I've got kosher strength! The will of Allah! I mean Yahweh! Yahweh!
Psst. Hey, Ethan. You were always better than this. Always.
I think the worst criticisms I labeled at Ethan is that he's a bad boss, a tyrant of a boss.
Yeah, and this was the evidence.
Well, I think we covered most of it.
You're doing it.
What are you
It's
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not...
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like...
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh, no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday, maybe. You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand up.
And tell me again, how is Ethan a bad boss when you're the one with a failed business plan?
I just implied that he was being taken advantage of by people either in his community or outside of his community.
This makes no sense.
And I called him a bitch-made coward.
Coming from you?
And that is a rich thing to say. That was like the summary of personal insults labeled at Ethan. Before Ethan even knew what my video was about, he was already framing me as anti-Semitic.
Yeah, Ethan was given what we call a hypothesis, an educated guess. I presume you are going to show me he was wrong, right? You better, because if not, you're going to prove him right.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking bag. Fuck this bag Zionist baby, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
I'm one of you. I fucking hate too, guys. Let's get after it. Israelis have no right to defend themselves, actually. All Israelis are settlers, actually. What is he going to give me a history lesson now? Is he a historian? Yeah, he just discovered empathy, by the way, and only extends to the point where you're actually talking about Jewish people or Israelis. Then empathy stops, and they should all be. Bro's actually out there like Timothy McVeigh. He's running to the closest fucking kindergarten to up. There's a Jew. I heard there's a Jewish.
That's not what Timothy McVeigh did.
They want all you guys to quit, and for me to just be like alone.
I completely believe this based on what you and Hassan said in the last video.
I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
Dan, he needs you more than you need him. Stop babying this man, please. He needs you more than you need him. Stop babying him.
Well, I know that's true, but I don't baby him.
Come on. Okay. All right.
You want to target the crew more?
Hey Ethan, let me bring you up on game. Hassan wasn't targeting the crew. He's sending a secret message to Dad and whoever else in the crew he has contact with. Yes, they're trying to separate you from the crew. They want you alone.
Little boy alone.
Like, Ethan, under a year ago, was saying he doesn't use anti-Semitism in that way. He's not a guy to call anything and everything anti-Semitic.
In the years of the H3 podcast, yeah, that's true.
You know, in my whole life, I've never screamed foul on anti-Semitism. I literally have been getting this shit since the second I stepped foot on the internet, and I have never fucking ever done this, okay? So the people online, they're saying, oh, Ethan's making himself a victim, or Ethan's making everything about anti-Semitism. I've done this once in my life right now.
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking bag. Fuck this Jew Zionist baby, guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
Okay, you know what? Let me see. Want to make a bet that Ethan said this part after he skimmed the video and saw Hassan and the other Frogan people who else dancing in the video. I bet you that's when Ethan came to that conclusion. And I don't know, but let's go see if I'm right.
Some breaking news. Your old friend Idubbbz just released a video.
Yeah.
It's about you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. That is no, it can't be.
Well,
it actually can't be. Holy fuck, dude.
It sure is.
Oh my God. Holy fuck.
And from a quick scrub through it, I think, well, it's going to be a little spicy.
Let's watch it. I mean, so like the thing is, like, this guy went from saying he didn't want to get involved to supporting people calling CPS, like associating with people calling CPS in my family. An atmosphere where someone like Bad Empanada is being platformed by people like Matt Lieb and Denhams, who are friends with.
It looks like they're both in the video. Check the description.
Oh my God. Like what? Like what? Why? What did I do to like fucking, like what kind of fucking, like bro, what kind of cowardly bullshit is this? Like we have one disagreement where I get upset because you guys aren't defending me publicly after everything I've done to support you guys, and like you bring on people who are fucking Denhams and Frogan who did a fucking anti-Semitic tier list, and you're platforming them and co-signing them. And by the way, to even make it even more crazy, leave us fighting in your fight, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I actually can't believe that he did this. It's actually fucking unreal. Pretty wild. And it's just so pathetic, too. Like, talk about a bandwagon. Like, bro, this is the edgy, cool content you're trying to make a play to, like, fucking
20v1.
warm up to.
Hey, Idubbbz, he saw that you teamed up with all of his ops that he already had a problem with. You know how they say birds of a feather flock together? So yeah, if you're already with them and he saw it, he made a educated guess that you're on the same type of time they're on. And was he wrong?
I mean, I get that he's scared and offended, but this was the whole fucking point of my video, Ethan. I was saying that you shouldn't be doing this. It led to me making this video in the first place. You were triggered by this CPS harassment thing, and then you immediately equated Anissa and I to it. That was sloppy, and that was horrendous, and it was horrendous for us.
His last video has zero to do with CPS. He didn't bring the topic up, and the only mention of the CPS line was him showing a clip of Ethan mentioning it, but Idubbbz didn't expand upon it at all.
And now you're doing it again.
I'm gonna watch it live.
Should you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. But like, why?
I just don't think, I feel like you're going to get really emotional and say something you regret.
Well, I've got the button.
Like, I know you don't have a problem taking it head on. But I just feel
Of course not, because I know that
you're
whatever-
understandably upset, and I feel like it might be a little.
Should we wait to talk about it, or you want to talk about it?
You should do it off stream. Because I don't know. This escalated initially because we were live and you guys were heated about. I forget what it was.
I just think it might be wise to watch it, think out your thoughts, and respond in a calm way. Because there's no chance that you don't get heated.
I don't need to fucking pre-watch this. I don't need someone else to hold my hand through it. Like, I'm ready to take on anything that these people have to say about me.
And right after this, Ethan proceeded to watch the Content Cop video live. Idubbbz, are you okay? Why do you consistently show clips that make Ethan look fearless? You did the same thing with Ela last video too.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
This only makes me like them more. And by the way, when's Anissa gonna show up? Time's ticking.
He's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking bag. Fuck this bag Zionist baby killer, guys. I'm one of you. I fucking hate too, guys.
You attacked us, so I attacked back, and now you're acting surprised and shocked, and you're doing it all on your podcast live.
Wait for it. Wait for it, because this doesn't make any sense.
So naturally, you reacting live is you having an emotional reaction and seeing things that honestly are scary.
I don't know, y'all. I'm wondering if Ian has a comprehension problem, or he's just playing dumb. I know he's already told us he learned empathy, but I need to know now if he just learned reading, writing, and arithmetic. Guess what, Ian? I'm gonna pretend that you have sense and that you know what you're doing. This is one of the reasons why Ethan said you're spineless. All right, everybody knows that H3 Podcast is live 3 p.m. Eastern, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now, someone who's strategic, has some kind of forethought, and has courage would purposely drop the Content Cop going after Ethan right at the same time when Ethan was live on air. A sneak attack, something to catch him off guard. Thinking strategically, that person would know that Ethan would talk about it, sending even more views to the original Content Cop. Never mind, you'll be catching Ethan at a disadvantage. You'd have the upper hand. And you know what, Ian, Idubbbz, if that's what you were doing, I wouldn't be mad at you. I'd be like, hey, that's some sniper type action. It is what it is. But here's where you went wrong.
I checked.
Maybe he's defending it.
I checked my phone. Ian did just message me. He said, I'm sorry to put you in the position.
Wow, what a fucking nice guy. Just message you now.
He said he dragged me when I was already unhappy with what was going on. I didn't appreciate that, especially since he refused to get on the phone with me.
What?
It was meant to go live before the show, but I was having technical difficulties. Again, I'm sorry you're caught in the middle. And I know you tried to de-escalate, but it's clear Ethan isn't interested in de-escalating.
You see, this is a liar right here. See what he just texted, AB?
It was meant to go live before the show, but I was having technical difficulties.
That's why Ethan called you spineless. You can't even own up to purposely dropping the Content Cop while Ethan was on live. You have to go out and make up a whole convoluted lie, even to the point of you're texting AB and Lena that it happened accidentally. That's why Ethan is justified in calling you
Spineless. Spineless.
Unless, can you do it? Can you come out right now and admit that you did it purposely? Or are you going to just continue to lie about it, make excuses? Or it was an accident? Get out of here.
I just said I vented about them not defending me. What the fuck is he like? He's actually losing his shit and I just can't believe it, dude.
Did you call him up?
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted when you dropped it when he was live with 30,000 viewers. And what now? You're going to cry about it when you did it on purpose? No, I'm not giving you sympathy for that.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Hila told you exactly what you should do to yourself. And she said it with her chest. I like when people stand up for themselves. And she didn't need any backup dancers. She didn't have to lie and say, oops, I accidentally, not on purpose, text you saying I didn't mean it. No, she's standing on what she said. And you can't even do that with your video.
Fair weather friends who are so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ian sucks for the same reason right now. He could say something.
Spineless. Spineless. Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
Yep, what's the problem? They were clear, they were concise. Here's Idubbbz and Anissa version of speaking up.
I guess before we get into, because we do kind of want to talk about the some stuff that's
The
going
Ethan
on.
stuff.
Yeah, the Ethan stuff.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah, so Ethan's upset with I think some of our connections, and we've tried to reach out to Ethan to talk privately. Basically, it just seems like we're at a bit of an impasse. So we want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on and add to anything. So this is our, lukewarm addressing of it. It's, we're always open to talk, privately, especially. And, we'll, the door's always open.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
What's very insane about this content cop is I was thinking about Ethan's feelings so much in that video, and that is a rich thing to say. I thought about the idea of like how I shouldn't be saying the term Zionist or Zionism in that video, because I was like, he has explained before that that's personally insulting to him, and he doesn't like that. Regardless of how true it is, I was like, I'm going to think about Ethan's feelings and not mention this.
How true it is? Ethan is not dumb. You're even admitting it. He knows how you feel about him, except Ethan is going to say it where you're going to sidestep around it. You get it? Right now, you're only proving Hila and Ethan's point. Unlike you, they're not playing dumb. They know what time you're on. It would have been a point for you if Ethan had played your content cop live and had to eat his words. But that's not what happened. He can read you like a pamphlet. Idubbbz, you're about as deep as a bird bath.
Fast forward to him reacting to my video, he's just outright calling me a fucking Nazi.
Is it a coincidence that Ian really shaved his head just before doing this video and he's holding a swastika one? I mean, we can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis, how about that? Well, this is the white savior, Ian, who's just found empathy, unless you're Jewish, of course.
Ethan, people are allowed to shave their head and not be called anti-Semitic.
Okay. I can't let you get away with this anymore. I'm going to show you guys something, and the only reason why I didn't expand on this in my other video was because of time constraints. But unfortunately for you, Idubbbz, I got time today. So when the original content cop on Ethan Klein dropped live, I was not watching H3 at the time. But it just so happened that I was in the middle of editing one of my videos for my Frenemies Reloaded series, or Frenemies Rant, one of them. And I just remember weirdly just watching this part of the video where you see they're all pulling out swords, right? Nothing. Okay, whatever. But that image was in my mind when I noticed Idubbbz and his sword. And here's what just struck me, even though I didn't see the makeshift swastika symbol. But what was odd to me was how Idubbbz pointed the sword. It was awkward. Look, his body's facing one direction, but his face is looking at the screen. He's pointing the sword at the screen while his body is a different direction. It was just weird. And comparing to, again, I just happened to be watching people pulling out swords. They're not pulling it out and then like sticking it at the camera. It's weird, right? That's just a weird thing to do. He really wanted to show that sword. And now, finally, my Cinema 101 has come into use where I can dissect this dream sequence. And dissecting the dream sequence, it was very clear.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan.
So if you didn't know, the way the camera is set and the way they're speaking directly into the camera, we are all Ethan. This 2-minute skit was directed at Ethan. The point of the skit was to show Ethan's mind being warped and seeing things that aren't there. He's hallucinating. And so what is the purpose of this skit? His nightmare is coming true.
This is no longer a dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
But Ethan is sleeping. Idubbbz is telling him to wake up. And what is he waking up to? Idubbbz with the Palestinian flag, because he's invoking the imagery of the Middle Eastern terrorists with the long swords and, chopping off of heads. That's the imagery that he's trying to provoke. And he's showing it to Ethan with the sword that Hassan dubbed.
Yeah. Immediately goes for the swastika one. Got it.
Strategically placed so that Ethan can see it. And he knows it looked enough like a swastika for Ethan to label it exactly what it is. And he has enough plausible deniability to say, look at him freaking out thinking it's a swastika sword when it's not, but it is. If Ethan is saying people are anti-Semitic, what better way to show off his hallucination than by having a makeshift swastika sword? And you can't even stand behind it. That's why Ethan called you.
Spineless.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to critique his podcast or be pissed off that he personally insulted you, even that is enough to be called anti-Semitic. It's fucking crazy.
Hey, you, guy that Ethan called spineless. Only you as a white man with a shaved head and Palestinian colors around your neck would pick up a
Swastika one.
And stick it in a Jewish man's face and turn around and call him crazy for seeing exactly what you put in front of all of us to see. You see, folks, this is what we call someone who's playing in our face. Hey, Idubbbz, if you want not to be spineless, this is what you do. Admit that you made a short skit in order to prove what you said your content cup was about.
And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings.
Right? So if you think Ethan is paranoid, defensive, and such, it makes sense that you made a skit that's a dream sequence directed at Ethan, bringing to life his worst nightmare. You can hide behind artistic expression, like what UMG is trying to do with Drake. It's still not going to work, but at least you won't be
Spineless
for once in your life.
Now, I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword. I don't want to talk about Hassan's sword hilt.
That's okay because I already did. And that's where Hassan lost me in the debate. Hey, Hassan, I was really giving you the benefit of the doubt because anytime I watched you last year, you were all about telling your chat that Ethan wasn't the enemy and that he's an ally. And if Ethan had jumped the gun as far as you were concerned, I'd get it if you were upset. But when Ethan asked you in this clip at the beginning of the debate between you two...
Hassan, let me paint a scenario for you, okay? Listen, okay? This is important. You participated in a video accusing a Jewish man of exaggerating anti-Semitism. You exhibited in that video the most hateful symbol against Jewish people. 1 out of 10 of your swords that you have previously already stated is the, quote, swastika sword. So am I insane for you're treating me like I'm insane for bringing this up, but it sounds pretty reasonable.
And you answered this?
I mean, it's a little insane.
So
yes.
yeah, microaggressions just don't exist for Jewish people.
You're asking me why Idubbbz.
It's your sword, bro. I don't believe that you weren't there.
I'm not Idubbbz.
You were there, bro. It's in your fucking house.
I don't know why you're asking me.
Because it's your house and your sword.
But I also, again, I'm going to repeat myself here. I think I'm doing this a lot.
You don't need to. Go ahead.
I am not
Ask me the next question.
I don't know what was going on in his mind.
I'm not accusing you of being Idubbbz, Hassan, but you're acting like you're incapable of making value judgments on things because you're not Idubbbz.
No, because I already made the value judgment. I think you're being crazy.
Okay, well, Mr. Microaggressions thinks I'm being crazy. Very good. You have no problem telling Jewish people they're being crazy on what...
Yes.
It's like a blatant fuck. Go ahead, ask me the next question.
Yes, I don't.
Do you think
I don't have a problem
if you could
telling
go back,
you're being crazy right now. You being Jewish has nothing to do with this.
Sure, I'm sure it doesn't.
Listen, if you're smart, you can't play dumb. Let me repeat it differently. You're way too smart, Hassan, to be playing dumb. Hassan, I'm not mad at you for buying a sword because of anime, because it looks cool, because it's long and you're a tall guy, whatever. But even you who called it
For the swastika one.
would know never to pair it with the Palestinian flag and direct it at a Jewish man. And you know what? I fully believe that the rest of the people in that room weren't aware of what was on that hilt, but you knew, Hassan, and I believe Idubbbz as well. And you know what leads me to really believe this too? Hassan, you were conveniently absent from any shots with that sword.
Decision. I wasn't even.
Do you think it's reasonable to?
I'm not even in the photo. I don't.
I know it's in your room though, and with your sword.
Because again, you know better. And hey, you even had an excuse not to be in that room.
I noticed you weren't in the other shots. Why was that?
I think I was being interviewed.
Oh, really?
By
Who was
a
interviewing
journalist while that was happening.
Really?
I can't. I don't remember.
Really? Oh, that's convenient. I think you were embarrassed, frankly. You were absent from every other shot. I think you saw him doing that. I think you saw him doing that Fortnite dance, and you said, "I got to get out of this." And by the way, I'm giving you credit for that.
No, Ethan, don't give him any credit because he couldn't even tell you who he interviewed with. And again, I believe he purposely knew not to be in any shots with that sword tied with the Palestinian colors. If we were to give Hassan the benefit of the doubt, maybe he did have an interview, and when he left the room, Ian put on the flag colors and scooped up the sword and did it all behind Hassan's back. The reason why I didn't believe that happened is because when Hassan watched the finished content cop, he made no mention of it, as if suddenly he didn't remember what that sword represented and that Idubbbz put the Palestinian flag around his neck. If anything, that should have made Hassan more angrier than Ethan, that Ian did it behind his back.
Up.
I'm not even in the photo. I
know it's in your room though, and with your sword.
Okay, great excuse. You weren't in the room when Ian picked up the
swastika one
and wrapped that flag around his neck. Great, plausible deniability. But guess what? When you watch back that video live, you should have spotted that disgusting image quicker than Ethan because it was your sword. But the fact that you pretended like you didn't see it, and then after Ethan pointed it out to you, you had the nerve to call him crazy.
I'm not accusing you of being Idubbbz, Hassan, but you're acting like you're incapable of making value judgments on things because you're not Idubbbz.
No, because I already made the value judgment. I think you're being crazy.
Okay.
I see you, Hassan. To think that after October 2023, I was relying on your stream to learn about the Palestinian plight and the history of its people. I was there when you raised 500,000 gold so fast, you were like, let's up it, all for charity. I trust people who I believe have more knowledge than me in a subject, but once I see that same person blatantly lie about something I do know about.
Do you think going back that it was a mistake to use that sword?
I don't really care about this at all.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that really shows where you're at on this. Go ahead and ask me a question.
I see you, Hassan.
Because Ethan himself basically admitted already multiple times he doesn't think any of us did that intentionally. And he would be right.
No, he would be wrong, you see, because this is where reputation comes into play. As if, Ian, you weren't the guy who went up to Tana and called her the N-word. As if you weren't the guy rapping about rice gum and pulled your eyes to try and mock him. As if you didn't have a series of videos where you're just slaying slurs repeatedly on end. Ethan's problem is that he thought a friend of his wouldn't use racist imagery to go at him. And I'm like, what they say to you in jest, they'll say to you in anger. I'd never put something like this past you. The reason why I think you did it now because I've seen you do it in the past for cheap laughs, and as they say, once a hack, always a hack.
Do I think any of them actually wanted to put a swastika in the photo? No, no. I don't actually think that. The chances that they did on purpose is close to zero, right? So I'm not accusing them.
See, that's the good that Ethan sees in you guys, that he really didn't think in his wildest of imaginations that you guys would purposely do that. But he figured it out. Yep, you guys did it. That's how much you hate him. But again, not they. Ian for sure did it, and Hassan, he's only guilty after the fact. The way both Ian and Hassan can admit that pointing
to the swastika one
to a Jewish man is anti-Semitic proves that they knew what they were doing and now they can't fess up to it. Anybody else dancing in that room, if any one of you overheard anything that would be of interest to us, please say the truth. Be a leader and not a follower. Don't be
spineless
like Ian and Hassan. Because the amount of people in that room, one person will, if not today, if not tomorrow, when the rest of y'all had a falling out, will come out and say what really happened in that room. So better say it now. Because at least I'd give you some credit than to wait when you have a falling out with one of them and then you come out and say it. I have no respect for people like that. Not sorry.
I picked up a random sword in Hassan's room that was laying around. That could be the end of the discussion. You don't actually need to debate Hassan about the sword hilt.
Hear that mocking laughter? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Even you waving a sword at Ethan with the Palestinian colors wrapped around you is questionable as well, because that imagery fuels Islamophobia. But you don't care, do you?
He left it up.
Decision making.
If it was a mistake, he could have deleted it.
But I'm not going to delete the photo because that would be indulging in your weird anti-Semitic fantasies.
And again, that was the point of the Ethan Klein dream sequence. You were purposely trying to torment him. What a gross person you are.
We can free Palestine without being a Nazi. You fucking Nazis. How about that?
I'm done being nice to Ethan. I gave it a chance. My sincerity and my empathy.
You're apathetic. That's what you are.
In that last video was real.
No, it wasn't. I'm beginning to think you don't understand compassion. Yo, you know who he is? This guy. You're Mr. Burns up in here.
You're still evil, and when you're trying to be good, you're even more evil.
I was even equating to him having crash out moments in the same way that Denims could have crash out moments.
Yeah, whatever. You probably don't like her either.
I think we're all capable of it, but he was using it in the video to suggest that I was making fun of his mental health.
Well, you were.
To my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial, weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help. Dude, I'm not making fun of your mental health. Every example you used was me basically saying that other people are trying to affect you. It's understandable that you're going through this right now, Ethan. We all go through this.
This is what we call throwing stones and hiding your hands. Ian, you can't have a video that says this.
I feel very insulted, and I feel defensive, and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
And then think, we're really going to believe you have Ethan's best interest at heart. You see, this is why I like Ela and Ethan. If they like you, they'll tell you. And if they don't like you, they'll tell you.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
They're not going to do the fake love nonsense. Another reason why Ethan called you.
Spineless. Spineless. To characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think he would ever be possible of doing.
Every fucking example that you tried to smear me with was me actually pointing to something else that could be affecting you. He even brought up the clip of me saying, if you get help. We all need help. Everyone on this planet needs help. I don't care how you get it. You can wander into the jungle and go on an ayahuasca trip. I don't care.
See, now I really know you hate him. Isn't that what Kendrick told Drake to do in one of the diss songs? And did we all sit there and really think Kendrick wanted the best for Drake? Just there giving him friendly advice only to call him a p not too long after? Get out of here with your fake love, Idubbbz. We don't believe you. You need more people.
How you get your help or what you define as help, but if it helps you, that would be good, because right now it doesn't seem like you're getting much help. The main criticism that I was seeing online with my video from Ethan and Ela is that I didn't mention the CPS call.
No. If you didn't mention it before, don't mention it now.
There's really just one central point that I want to make here. My good friend Ian, in his hour-long takedown, did not mention one time Child Protective Services. Not one time.
There was not even one mention of CPS.
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
So like
without
for a lot of
without even explaining that at least that's the context, it's pretty cowardly.
I wonder why I wouldn't mention the CPS call. Could it be that the CPS call happened the same day that you were shit-talking me? And I didn't have any chance to defend myself. You just immediately, in the same podcast, right next to each other, said, CPS call was very traumatic. And then you said, fuck Ian and Anissa. And you linked those together, you kind of layered those flavors, and then Anissa and I got a bunch of harassment. We had nothing to do with the CPS call.
Great point, Idubbbz. So why didn't you mention this in the content cop? I mean, if it was such a big issue, why didn't you bring it up? Could it be because you're wrong? Their main point was you two were phonies, the original video. And they were asking Trisha Paytas to speak up for them as well.
Again, Trisha's subreddit was ruining her life, or the snark one.
Yeah.
It was super toxic there, and she got it removed fairly easily.
You know what I would like to say too is that like if she actually cared about us and about other parents and children, she would tell her friends to back off. Because to me, a lot of these people are her fans.
They were saying a lot of people who don't like them are fans of other influencers that are their friends or people who know them that should speak up on their behalf.
What are all these fucking comments on your Reddit saying like, it happened because of the CPS call? I don't entirely blame your audience for getting confused because number one, it's a fucking cult. And number two, you can't even get the timeline straight. So if anyone's watching your dumbass, their brain is also going to get scrambled.
Who's he talking about? Not me, said the cat.
Be friends as long as they're getting something out of it. So again, he's not showing the context. What was the okay, I'll play this part. Did you guys ever find the context of what I was talking about here? Because I feel like I wasn't even talking about him. I could be wrong. I just don't remember ever saying like, if I did say that,
I thought you were talking about them.
From my binge watching Ethan, he's always been misremembering things.
About Anissa and Ian in that clip?
That's the same clip of
it's all the
when
part of the
CPS
same
was
clip.
called.
Yeah.
Same clip.
It's part of the same conversation.
You completely wiped your brain of what happened during the CPS stream. That's not my fucking fault. That's no one else's fault but yours.
All I wanted for you to do was say the bare minimum of like, hey, this is fucked up. This is not true about CPS, whatever. Like the bare minimum. It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
The screen says extreme timeline confusion. We expressed sympathy for Ethan and Hila on our podcast 4 days after he attacked us. Okay. Question. Why would you express sympathy 4 days after he attacked you? When you told us in Content Cop that you were mad at him for calling you spineless.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anissa are spineless.
All right. The podcast sympathy was you two being phony. It's not Ethan's fault. He can smell it on you.
We want to stay out of the drama as much as possible. We don't want to pile on and add to anything. So this is our, lukewarm addressing of it.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
This is what I was talking about. You cannot have something terrible happen, be like, yes, let's make some content, and then shit talk your friends of 8 years.
I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm coming. On the other hand, I don't know if that's a good state to be in life.
That's that. Hila, kind of spitting.
Hila is the definition of ride or die, or at least ride or ride. She was at home with her feet up, but when that content dropped, she was like, hold up, wait a minute, don't start the fun without me. And she hopped in her car and went straight to the H3 podcast.
You're coming here because of this Content Cop? Okay.
I told you.
Your thoughts on this so far? I mean, we're debating if we should watch it or not.
I know I'm having an internal debate too, and with myself, if we should do it now or not, because on the one hand, I'm so fired up, I don't even know what to do with myself, which is why I'm coming.
By the way, where's Anissa, Idubbbz?
And a lot of the clips he uses is us fired up from the day that CPS came to us.
For anyone confused about the timeline, Ethan was talking shit about us on his Instagram before any CPS shit. He was also talking shit about us on his podcast before any CPS visit. On March 7th, CPS visits Ethan and Hila, and that same day, they decide, let's do our podcast, and let's have the topic be the CPS visit and how distraught we are about that. And then right next to that, right after it, you guys talk about me and Anissa.
So I was off of H3 for roughly a year and maybe longer because I was taking a break from making YouTube videos and I didn't want to watch this show because every time I did, I was always itching to make a new video. So I cooled out on watching, and I remember one of the first episodes I watched when I came back to making videos on YouTube. And it was by accident because it was late at night and I remember it was during the elections and H3 podcast was live. And I want to show you this because I saw something and it was just so shocking. I screen recorded what I saw because to me it was so shocking. I thought it was probably going to be deleted.
Should I call him?
No,
text him first.
I told you flat out no.
Love says I should.
Don't call him. I
You
saw
know,
someone in
nice
What's
chat.
the worst that happens?
You can text. You can text.
I saw someone in chat say that he was watching us for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's our friend. Ethan can call his friend.
Oh my God. I'm so scared.
Well, let's see.
We're at the sleepover.
We have the live shot, although it's probably on a bit of a delay.
Hey, buddy, should I put you on
I told
Philip DeFranco, how are you?
Wait, should I put you on speaker?
Sure, yeah, you're on our show. Thanks for calling in. What did you want to ask?
I want to know if we're going on that hike, apparently.
I do. I want to. I'm down to do it. I want to hike there, but let's meet on the trails. We'll talk after this evening.
Hey, Ethan, can you tell Philip been a fan since
Unless I get a
2009?
lot of backlash for even answering this call. In which case, I don't know this man.
I am I don't know if you know this, but I am pro-genocide by the fact of being.
Why you bring in whatever your shit? I feel like I try to go out of my way to not know what's happening with anyone else in this fucking space, and then my team brings.
Yeah, I could go into detail. Do you want to? I could go into all the
Don't put
details.
it- don't put
It sounds like you want to get into it. It sounds like you want to get into it.
No.
Thank you. Thank you for answering. Brief conversations and just get my dumb face on your subreddit and the Snark Reddit and all that stuff. So I'm gonna hop off.
You know about H3 Snark. Okay, interesting. It goes far and wide.
Man, when you think about anything, I'm just an innocent bystander. Okay, I gotta go.
You regret answering?
No, I don't regret answering. It was unexpected. Anyway,
All right, be good.
I'm getting a crazy chat.
Okay, be good. Be good. Yeah. Bye. Nothing gets me excited like seeing Philip DeFranco's chat. Call me El Zionist Nazi, free Palestine.
Yeah.
Ethan, you can migrate to Israel. Wait, I thought you didn't want that. Make up your mind.
I thought they wanted people out of Israel.
Yeah, do you want the Jews there or do you want them out? Yeah, so there it is. Pro-Zionist. Crazy.
Well, now AP's called it, so...
He regrets answering that.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He was sweating. He was sweating.
He was sweating, but let's
gonna
hope he
hike.
remembers the good part.
We're going to see how that...
Yeah, there was a lot of good parts.
Yeah.
There was highs during that.
Like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys? What happened? Everybody's
Killed
so
the mood,
quiet.
bro, with your
We're
antics.
depressed.
How the fuck did I kill the mood?
Bruh.
What the fuck did I do?
You killed the mood.
Why? How?
But with your calling Phil and bringing up all
What?
kinds of negative
That
stuff.
was fucking awesome.
It was fine.
How did calling Phil ruin the mood?
You asked, I answered.
I just know
How then?
it'll
You
be-
explain how.
It'll be clipped, and I know it'll be clipped.
Clipped in
Wait,
what
you
way?
guys are
I don't care
serious?
about that.
Clipped in what way?
And just sometimes ironic jokes in out of context.
What did I say that could even be taken out of context?
I don't want to deal with whatever's going on.
Well, you just co-signed genocide, so.
What can you do? We can't live
I
our
know,
life
I
based
know.
on how clips will be clipped.
I know.
No.
By the way, just to bring the mood down a little bit,
Oh, God.
I mean, I think it's fucking rich for you guys to yell at me. You don't know what it's like to go or anywhere in the internet and be called a fucking Zionist Nazi.
Nobody yelled at you.
But
You
I'm
started
saying,
yelling-
like, it's
you
so
started
easy for
yelling.
you guys to be like, oh, you brought the fucking mood down, dude. Like, you're not the one who's being paraded on every corner of the internet being called a Nazi, unironically. So it's not exactly the fucking, like, chillest thing that I would just ignore when I see it.
All right, fair enough.
Well, it's fucked. His chat was saying that.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
And that's why he got a little cautious too, because he was like, oh shit, am I getting myself into hot water?
And once again, let me remind you
Which is-
guys that the extent of my fucking my Nazism is that I'm fucking Jewish. And, like, that I don't think Israelis should be murdered.
What was that? So yeah, Idubbbz, if the worst thing you can say about Ethan is he called you spineless, suck it up.
But you don't just talk about us. You shit talk us, and you imply that we're friends with people who are doing this, who are the ones who are harassing you.
Do you have evidence that H3 Snark called CPS on you?
Did I say
Like
that? random
anonymous Redditors?
Did I say that?
Wait, what's the...
I said
So
they're
who called
primary responsible for
CPS?
harassing me.
Who called CPS?
What the fuck? So I don't know.
To be honest, I'm very proud that I didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Hila's defense, because when you look into the story, it actually looks a lot shittier for Ethan and Hila. And I do mean that literally.
What did I tell you about this guy? So what, he's gonna apply now that people were justified for calling CPS on the Kleins? I'm telling you, something's off with him. His judgment is broken. Is Idubbbz going to mention his friend, and I say that in quotes, the psychologist guy that he roped into this beef with Ethan with no warning of what he was getting himself into? If Idubbbz doesn't mention that psychologist in Seattle guy, I will. Trust me, I'll mention him by the end.
There was this H3 stream where Ethan was dumping as per usual. He was talking about his own health. He was talking about his caca breath, his dog having diarrhea, his dog having giardia.
Olive has giardia. It's a bacterial infection in the intestines that makes you have diarrhea.
His child running around putting things in their mouth.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
The whole family possibly having giardia.
Oh,
And now Hila has giardia.
Shut. For real?
And now I think this morning I had diarrhea.
Oh my god.
You see, this is why I said in my other video that Dan has to be the joke police because people don't know what a joke is. I haven't watched this episode in full, but even from this clip, it's crystal clear to me that Ethan is using creative license to tell a compelling story for his audience. I mean, did you catch the part where Olivia says,
And now Hila has giardia.
Shut. For real?
no, Olivia, it's not real. But I can't even be mad at her for saying that because look, you all thought that was real.
What can I do to not get it from
Yeah,
you?
I'm trying to-
Because I'm not trying to get
No, it's extremely ridiculous to get. You have to ingest my poop.
Do you hear now how ridiculous this story is? So ridiculous that it's not real? Never once in this clip did Ethan say that his children was diagnosed by a doctor with giardia. Instead, it's Ethan imagining what if. You guys, I have to explain comedy. This is what I'm doing now. This is my life.
Talking about the viscosity of his child's shit.
And meanwhile, he is covered in viscous, low viscosity diarrhea.
He mentioned diarrhea a lot.
Crazy diarrheas like in the middle of the night. All the time he's having these crazy diarrheas. You wash your hands as best you can, but these are really nasty diarrheas. And then extremely foul smelling diarrheas.
So of course, Ethan, having made so many enemies over the years, other people react to his content. And when other people see that he's talking about his children getting giardia from dog poop.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
People are quite reasonably concerned. And so, yes, anyone who's seeing that content might be concerned enough to call CPS.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. You said his enemies would be concerned enough to call CPS. You see how this liar can't even be honest? Ian can't even say, you know what? Someone who didn't like Ethan was probably the type of person that made this call just to bring misery in Ethan's life and not out of concern for his children. But no, he's going to say something asinine that Ethan's enemy called CPS out of concern. Now you understand why I told this crying robot to get off my screen in the last video? This grown man still can't stand tall and tell Ethan off as clearly and as concise as Ela told him off.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
He has to act like he's coming from a good place. And Ethan forced his hand. Buddy, you haven't liked Ethan for longer than he hasn't liked you. Ethan just pulled the trigger once he realized where your head is at. And you're still over here acting like there's love lost. Give me a break.
Including Ethan's own chat, which, by the way, is not a measly number. It's about 26,000 at the time of this stream. So there are 26,000 people listening to Ethan go into great detail over 7 or 8 minutes about diarrhea, viscosity of diarrhea, his child having giardia, him and his whole family having giardia. They're calling it the poop house.
And yet all those people watching and all those chat comments, not once did you show someone alerting the CPS to be called. Maybe because regular watchers of Ethan, especially those who watch live, would be well aware that his children weren't in any danger. You know how I know this guy is bogus? He knows Ethan and Ela and has been to their house, yet has to resort to reading chat to find strangers making jokes about Ethan's cleanliness. He can't even add his own anecdote about going to Ethan's house and seeing crap all over. He would have a first-hand eyewitness account and he can't even add his knowledge to the story because it will contradict everything that the chat is saying right now. He's over here giving these comments power when he knows that there's no truth to them. And instead of saying it outright, the truth, he'd rather highlight the lies and pretend they carry weight.
Now what Ethan does, instead of taking any responsibility for sharing too much on his live stream, is that he decides to attack specific creators like Denim's and say she was the source of the CPS call because her chat was reacting to Ethan and saying, wow, this is concerning.
LOL, you guys. Let's do an experiment here. I hope Idubbbz shows this other creator's chat so we can compare the difference in responses.
Is on her platform right now advocating for our children to be forcibly removed from us by Child Protective Services.
The problem...
Hey, Idubbbz, enough with the commentary. Where was the chat's response in her video so we can compare who likely called CPS? You're the one who already stated Ethan's enemies called CPS because they were concerned, so why didn't you show us her chat as she watched Ethan's live? So you said her chat thought it was concerning while Ethan's chat was taking everything as it was intended for jokes. Why are you defending this again? Oh yeah, you hate Ethan too.
The problem with the CPS thing is that Ethan has proven to be a manipulative piece of shit. So when he calls on me to defend him, what the fuck am I meant to do? I don't trust you, and I'm glad I didn't trust you.
Exactly. So what's the problem again? If only you started this video with this statement and ended it. You hate Ethan, so you didn't want to stick up for him and didn't care what was going on with him and his children. Ethan is only repeating what you were too afraid to say to him when he called you and Anissa and asked you for your support. If Ethan didn't end your fake friendship, you would still be over there silently reaping all the benefits of having the support of the H3 fans for your creator clash while undermining Ela and Ethan every step of the way. Then maybe, just maybe, after creator clash was over, you would have cut them loose. Such phonies you are.
Because in your video defending yourself, you used a video that takes context from like 3 different places and combines them to make it seem like someone is coordinating an attack on you.
Love made a...
Great, he's showing the H3 podcast screenshot of her chat. Now let's read. Called Child Protective Services, his poor children, let his kids roll around in blank, those kids need help, those poor children, though, like, actually they should not be parents, CPS needs to be pay them a visit. This poor child, and this guy is a father. The kid trashing in pain. Are they even taking care of the children or the house themselves? How are you getting this kind of thing? His poor kids. Someone needs to call CPS on them. I think, how are they allowed to have kids? Something. Ooh, Idubbbz, you're only proving Ethan's case. I don't know this streamer, but if this was going on in her chat, then Ethan's not wrong for believing that the CPS call started from here. They're taking this story seriously, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's only because they hate him. This is why I always say, if you don't like someone, just say that. If I see people with this fake concern, I will stay far away from them. You don't mess with children because you don't like their parents. That should be common knowledge. You guys play way too much on the internet and then wonder why when soon down the road, you're not going to be able to slander people anymore anonymously. They're going to crack down on this. They're going to have to eventually. You guys are going too far.
A good point. You said, is this every comment? I believe this is a live feed of the chat. This isn't edited.
What about the top right? I thought these were
No,
selected.
it's this, I think when you full screen it. No, this is an edit. It's a cutout of the full chat. That's just enlarged there.
Oh, really?
Over the screen, yeah.
They're different, I think.
Yeah.
It's not timed. It's not timed the same way.
But it sounds like based on this clip, you knew that it was bullshit and you just went with it anyway.
It sounds like. You tell me, what are they saying? Is this a completely different chat or not? Because until you tell me otherwise, I'm going to assume it is because they're chatting like they're live.
Ethan Klein uses this very deceptively edited video that is just like doing this smooth scroll to make it seem like that's all of Denham's chat. But that's not what it is. And then when he's called out on it, he hides it. He moves his window over the real chat.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses,
Reading the chat, co-signing
it's very,
it.
very, very dangerous.
Now pay attention to
he doesn't
her
actually
chat.
have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like...
Now here you might have something. So Idubbbz, if what you're saying is true, and Ethan, put some other random chat on screen like it was live? Okay, yeah, that's wrong. But I'm not sure if that's what Ian is saying. Is the chat from the same stream but at a different time? Because if so, it doesn't disprove what Ethan is saying. Only unless while this was going on, did Denham step away from the screen and didn't see it? You should expand on this more, Idubbbz, because if there's any kind of question as to what this chat was saying, when it was saying it, and if it was her chat or someone else's, I don't know what you're implying, but you need to dig into more, because if it's the chat at the same date that Ethan was telling his story about his children, then I don't see him doing anything wrong. But anyway, CPS calls are anonymous, and it would be really hard to pin down who actually called.
Why does it have to be anyone else's fault but your own? Take some fucking responsibility. It's just so bizarre that Ethan would expect Anise and I to make a statement when Denham's herself already made a statement about it and said that she does not condone calling CPS.
So we're talking about CPS. 1, I don't condone. 2, I've never condoned it, and you will not be able to find a clip of me saying, yes, we should do this, because it doesn't exist. I've literally given Ethan Klein credit on multiple times or multiple instances, and I will do it again right now, for not showing photos of his kids.
Part of my criticisms of Ethan initially was the openness. I think it's a problem that you are that open, Ethan.
Since we're talking about problems, I think it's a problem every time you put on that dirty cop suit.
Well, you know I'm very open about everything. It's part of how I wanted to conduct myself and how I wanted to relate to the audience, is to be open as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
It is not strictly a benefit to be as open as possible on your podcast.
Ethan was just sharing his thoughts. What we were thinking, we were speculating.
Sonny's crawling around. He's putting everything in his mouth. He's at that age. He has giardia.
We were speculating.
Oh,
and now Ela has giardia.
Shut.
Be open as possible about every fucking thing in my life.
Yeah. Really? How many siblings do you have? I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it.
On top of Ethan characterizing me and my wife as anti-Semitic, he also takes a dig at my tattoos.
Okay.
Bro, you literally look like a fucking free tattoo pack that you get for 25 cents from a windy thing, bro. Like literally my kids have cooler fucking tattoos from Chuck E. Cheese. Bro looks like he just went to the menu and was like, I'll take that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
I have quite a few options here. I can show your tattoos in all of their glory.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny. Ethan has literal scribbles as tattoos, and he has the nerve to critique yours without a stutter. I like that. You need to be as funny as Ethan. You haven't made me laugh once yet.
Or I can show that your tattoo made it to the top of awful taste but great execution.
Oh, I haven't seen this tattoo. The greatest thing a man can do for his children is to love their mother. Yep. And yep, that's why I like Ethan. He has his priorities in order. If you Idubbbz knew this, I wouldn't be so hard on you. Ethan having to defend Anissa harder than her own husband is a crying shame.
Subreddit, which is not a good thing. I mean, it might be a good thing for the artists that you work with because that means that they did a good job from a technical standpoint, but it's sort of a failure in every other aspect, particularly the decision-making aspect. If you want to go tattoo for tattoo, Ethan, we can do that.
Bet. Show me your Anissa tattoo. I'm waiting.
You want to keep it to other things? We can. I'll give you that option.
Guy, dude, you're not even funny. I haven't laughed once, and I'm a girl who laughs at everything. What are you doing now, video essays? What's your thesis? Don't let Ethan have to start roasting you again for you to then go have another 3-hour session with your YouTube psychologist, so you can then upload on YouTube and gain more sympathy.
Ethan also talks about the potential CTE that I might have after boxing.
Yeah.
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled.
No, your brain is scrambled from getting punched in the face too many times because you don't understand the situation. Some people are saying the CTE is starting to take effect, I guess. That would be comforting if there was some explanation, at least.
So when Ethan doesn't like someone, all bets are off? Ain't no half-stepping? Is it good to be mean to people? No. But at least Ethan is not sugarcoating it. This is what Ian the Phony would do if he were Ethan. I really think Ian had one too many fights and is affecting his brain. Hopefully his wife will take him to the emergency room for a scan, even though they can't detect CTE until after death. Ian's community is really failing him now, and he should be looking into getting help instead of buying tickets to a fight where he can go get more brain damage. No, guy, Ethan would be like, I hope you get knocked out again and again and again. It is what it is.
Any amount of CTE that I may have endured after doing 2 boxing matches, I'm going to say is preferred over having to share the load of doing 50 jumping jacks with my wife.
What if we both do them? We'll both do 25 at once.
25 each? Or
Oh my goodness.
Great form by both.
Really nice. They must work out.
Also, why are you talking about CTE at all? Like, you've continually illustrated that you can't keep track of anything.
It came up because they were talking about it on their fucking podcast. By the way, they're the ones that like started this conversation by talking about it on the podcast. Be like, hey, I'm not getting involved.
I think that was their response after you guys initially called them out.
He can't even keep straight who attacked who first. He thinks that our podcast where we're expressing sympathy for him and Hila was the impetus for him talking shit about us.
Wah, Ethan didn't appreciate my sympathy. Wah, who cares?
I much prefer boxing-induced CTE than harassment-induced CTE. Ethan acts like we're such great friends and that like he shared such intimate moments with me, but it's all horseshit. He's lying. Like the whole thing is a fucking lie. He's manipulating his audience. We did not have a close relationship.
Okay, really? Tell me more.
You guys were buddies for a long time.
He texted me like one time like, hey dude, we should talk this out. And I was like, I don't feel like having this conversation right now. That's it.
Why would you call him 5 times if you're not even really friends with him? Hey, you, this segment is supposed to show you two aren't really close. Not the opposite. Stick to the point.
So Ian kept trying to get me on the phone or text with me. And I told him, dude, honestly, I don't feel like having this conversation right now.
Okay.
Fair, right? I just didn't want to do it. Okay?
Just in that particular moment,
and then
or like at all?
Well, it turns out I didn't want to talk to him at all.
Okay.
If the relationship was that close, you would have talked to me on the phone. You wouldn't have shit-talked me. You would be curious where my brain was at and where I was coming from.
Like I already said, you're not that deep, Idubbbz. He looked at you and figured you out. You can't use what happened in the past month or two to say you were never friends. You're supposed to tell us why within the 8 years of knowing him, you were never his friend. Maybe I should be the one to do plot points for you for your next Ethan trashing video.
There's this moment in the Content Cop where I'm trying to give an example of the cycle of harassment. Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of... Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
Are you okay?
Ethan and Hila act like they have no idea what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, maybe they don't. It's a very obvious and easy to digest point. That's why I made it that way. I'm going to explain it here so everyone on the internet understands. When you have a podcast where you are constantly emotionally dumping and saying things just off the top of your head and you're attacking other people randomly, maybe from your perspective it's not attacking. Maybe you're just commenting on someone else's situation.
He's got to be one of the most visually repulsive people. FaZe Banks, like, in my opinion, he's somewhat repulsive to look at.
And be
File. Pirate Software was like weird about it. It's like, look at my old voice, it's so lame. What an obnoxious loser. She goes, I can't believe these people are so obnoxious. And he looks like an idiot who's obsessed with me, dude.
But what happens when other people comment on your situation? It doesn't feel too good, does it?
But he's like, no, actually, Ethan, the fucking bag.
Yo, this guy is the good Mr. Burns for real. If in this commentary Ethan was throwing around racist slurs to people, you'd have a point. But Ethan criticizing behavior when he's going over the topics of the day is what all commentary YouTubers do.
Fuck this bag Zionist baby guys, right?
I don't know if that's what the video is.
That is the back and forth I'm describing. You might have thought, we were just saying that Ian and Anissa are bad friends. Well, guess what? We didn't take it that way.
What do you want me to tell you? He said that after he saw your video. Maybe don't swing
The swastika one.
in the face of a Jewish person for your little skit. Why would I get mad that a Jewish person is upset that a guy swung
The swastika one.
in their face? I would never argue against that point.
Our POV is like, fuck everybody, and I don't want to hear any excuses. You're not my friend, and you never were, and you never will be. You never will be.
What we took it as is Ethan and Neil are shit-talking us. They just implied that we are okay with people using CPS as harassment, and now all of their fans are brigading us. So I am going to respond in kind and make a content cop. So yes, that is what the cycle of harassment looks like.
The harassment started when you brandished
The swastika one.
in front of him, as well as your threats of violence.
What are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Which, if I were Ethan, I wouldn't take lightly.
Okay, what does that have to do with me?
I don't know.
How about you fucking Nazis? How about that?
You might think that all of the harassment you're getting has everything to do with your politics and your idea of Israel-Palestine, but a lot of my gripes were centered around you dragging me into your shit. You know, you knew that you were going through a lot, and you were saying, I'm hurting, I'm now going to make them hurt because they're not putting their head on the chopping block. Fuck you, you're a piece of shit.
And this is why Ethan called you
Spineless.
I'm sure there's anti-Semitic people that are attacking you guys, but they're not me, they're not Anissa. It's not Hassan, it's not all of these other creators that you're attacking. You're not the biggest victim on the internet, Ethan. Other people can experience a horrible fucking time. And guess what? They're not getting this other benefit, which is 26,000 viewers. You're getting a lot of money and a lot of content, a lot of things that you care about from these beefs and from this harassment. There are a lot of people that you've just bullied and they have nothing to gain out of it. Frogan isn't making a bag.
Hey, you see how he's still sticking up for Frogan and Hassan, Demon, and remember that Froggy person the last time? And Ethan gets nada, no sticking up for. Okay, whatever.
from this. She's not getting content out of this. You're attacking her in relentless ways and endorsing so much worse harassment than what even you send her way.
The shit he said and posted about Frogan over the past years is like insanely nasty shit.
Yeah.
Worse than anyone I've seen. If this is true, absolutely mind-blowing, insane shit.
Hold on. It's not worse than anything you've seen. How could it be worse than anything you've seen?
Literally, no. I guess
he was
not.
very nasty. Well, I'm just saying, people like fucking want to like get lay down and fucking like.
I'm talking about specifically against Frogan.
But like he called her fat, right, and ugly, which is horrifically mean. I get called a fucking baby.
I was talking specifically about
That's way
Frogan.
worse than being called fat and ugly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ethan would know because people have called him all of the above. So he's the person that can measure which is worse. So I'll take his word on this.
Also, on top of Ethan and Neela constantly victimizing themselves, I did notice that as soon as we didn't immediately jump to Ethan and Neela's defense, Ethan took that to heart and he started to make that his employees' problems. Instead of just, sucking it up and taking it on himself.
Psst. He's not you.
He decided to imply that Lena is going to have a problem with that.
A lot of this has ramifications for the crew. The way that they have it set up is basically if Lena were to drop out, she would lose she would have to pay back like $25,000 or something like insane. And besides that, which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out, she's been working really hard. And just because I'm having an issue with what's going on here.
You bringing up Lena dropping out of the fight was you publicly showing to your fans like, I don't approve of this.
Was this before or after you talked with him on the phone? That would put a lot of this into perspective.
You were saying this shit before the content cop even came out.
Which I told her I would cover if she wanted to drop out.
But now you are saying that you didn't have a problem with any of it until I made the video.
I was totally on board until the organizer put out a video calling me a psychopath for harassing his friend.
Obviously, Ethan and Neela will victimize themselves every chance they get. But when they have the chance to victimize someone else who's on their crew, they'll also do that.
You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her.
Why would I do such a thing to Lena? Dude, you have as much agency as I do. You didn't have to badmouth me on your podcast. That was a choice that you made.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
Oh, the organizers of this event are not jumping to my defense? All right, well, maybe instead of shit-talking them, maybe I should zip it.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree. You already forced Lena into this horrible situation. And again, you forced this situation on her. By the way, Idubbbz, Lena's fucking having a panic attack.
So go fuck yourself.
I agree.
But you're just lobbing it to me and Anissa. I'm lobbing it back to you. You're the one who brought it up. If you lob it back to me and you say, well, I didn't have your back publicly. Well, fuck you. I'm going to lob it back and say, you're being irresponsible on your podcast and you're not taking any accountability for the shit you're putting out online.
Idubbbz, you're talking too much. At this point, it's not about who said what first. You stopped liking Ethan long before he stopped liking you, and he figured it out. Deal with it.
I think that's going to do it for this video. There's a lot more that I can share, but I'll save that for the future.
Yo, Idubbbz, you might as well do like me and change your channel name to Ethan Reloaded. Seems like you're going to be resurrecting your channel around Ethan hate. And hey, Ethan, this guy is to you what Kendrick Lamar is to Drake. And I know you don't want to hear that, but it's true. Just like Drake, you shouldn't have said a word about this Idubbbz guy. Now he's going to take this Ethan hate and start doing stadium tours.
And in closing, I will reiterate so that, there's no ambiguity about it. Anissa and I are no longer involved in Creator Clash. We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all of the fighters get what they wanted out of it. I'm sorry that I'm such a...
And I see not a word about your psychologist in Seattle friend. You did what you accused Ethan of doing to you and dragged that psychologist into your drama, except he got it worse. I don't know if you know this, but listen to this psychologist explain how he and Ian met.
So I thought the best way to explain my involvement in Idubbbz Content Cop video was to give a brief summary of the chronology up until this point. Back in May of 2023, so 2 years ago, many people were asking me to analyze an apology video by Idubbbz. I only knew Idubbbz from Creator Clash, which was the year prior. So I didn't know what he would be apologizing for because I didn't know what he was known for, what he had published prior. So I watched his apology video and analyzed it, and I gave him a B. And to my surprise, he commented on the video, which was interesting because that doesn't usually happen. And I came to learn that he and his wife, Anissa, have been fans of my channel. Then about a year later, in February 24, so about a year ago, Stacy and I, my wife, we were at a breakfast joint here in Seattle. And Ian and Anissa, if you don't know, Idubbbz, his name is Ian. Ian and his wife, Anissa, approached our table because they saw us walk in. Ian and his wife, Anissa, approached our table because they saw us walk in. We connected and started talking about being on each other's podcast. And then we started to chat more off air and text each other and stuff. And I would watch one of his unboxing videos and laugh, and I would text him and say, that was a funny bit there, or whatever. And I, over time, started to learn more about their lives. Even on the podcast, we talked about their lives and the history of their childhood and their families, and also what they went through regarding the recent cancellation or internet drama that they had been going through. And
now, this is me speculating. I don't have any facts, okay? This is just me speculating. But based on Ian's past action, like sneaking up on Tana just to get a moment for his content cop, and because of the same content cop on Ethan, you remember the ending where Ian was so weirdly obsessed with this empathy thing, and he was very jealous over Ethan getting an A+ for his apology video, and Ian was upset because he got a B for his apology?
I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying, and, you know, we might learn a thing or two.
Listen, I wouldn't put it past Ian to have somehow find out what restaurant this psychologist frequent and sat and waited there with his wife to see the doctor, to approach the doctor, not even just to say hi, but no, to ingrain himself in that psychologist's life. Hey, Seattle psychologist, think back to the day you guys met. Really think back hard and realize that Ian purposely put himself in your life. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I think that apology thing really got into his head to the point where he had to seek you out and form some kind of relationship with you. But you're a psychologist. Now that I kind of gave you a hint, you should figure out the rest of it on your own. Ian is that type of guy.
Such a big day for the whole family. And here's the one who made it happen. Dr. Leo Marvin. Dr. Leo Marvin. Get out. No, we won't get out. We won't. You deserve it. I mean, get out! Get out! Is it something I said?
You've ruined my life! You've ruined my career! You've ruined my book! You've turned a perfectly peaceful house into an insane asylum! Get out!
Daddy! My God, Leo, what's gotten into you?
It was a disaster, Faye!
No, it wasn't. You were wonderful, You sweetie. were fine, Dad. Yeah. Why'd you need to kick Bob out of the house?
You think he's gone? He's not gone! That's the whole point! He's never gone!
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Ela and Ethan, I'm glad you guys got Ian out of your life. Good luck to the other YouTubers that inherited him.
You are the legend. Thank you, Ethan Klein. You are my best friend.